Yo, so today we're taking a look at the BoyuuRange A50 MKIII tube integrated amplifier. It's a 300B tube amplifier, and I've seen a lot of videos already on YouTube posted 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long, so I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but I'll give you a short rundown. I love this integrated amplifier. It's very sweet sounding, rich sounding, with a good bass emphasis for a 300B design. And we're gonna be giving it away in this video. So to find out more, after this intro. Now yes, you get to win this beautiful tube integrated amplifier in this video, and all you have to do is follow the instructions very carefully in the descriptions and in the pinned comments. Very carefully, follow it closely. But I have to warn you, you have to know what you're getting. But the good news is when you enter, we're not just giving away this unit, we're giving away 6 different hi-fi gear in the span of 6 days. So check the videos prior to this. I'll also link it in the description for you. You can enter multiple times, so enter as many times as you want. There's a great chance to win some gear. But you may end up with this, and if you do, you have to know what it is. So let's talk about it. This is a 7.2 watt integrated amplifier. Hey, Future Jay here. I keep saying in this video 7.2 watts like a freaking idiot. It's actually 7.6 watts. Still low powered as... Oh, I already see people frowning. The audiophiles, the people that want power. They're already frowning. They're like, 7.2 watts? What are you gonna do with that? Well, I'll tell you what to do with it. You drive speakers with it. I have the Electra Amateur speakers back there, Stone's Fabric, $10,000, expensive, costs a kidney and maybe a liver, in my case both. And in this case, it's an 88 dB speaker with a 4 ohm load, which means it's a pretty common spec. That's why I paired it up with that as well to check, if it will work with most speakers. And will it drive it? That's the question, will it drive it? Yes and no. Hear me out. So it's always circumstantial. This is why hi-fi is so damn confusing, because it's no black and white. It can drive it and it sounds very good, but within the certain parameters. And so let me explain that parameter. The parameter is very simple. If you're playing music that's jazz, normal human voices, singers, instruments, stuff like that, even some orchestral music, yeah, this can play to almost ear-splitting levels in a small to medium-sized room. Once you get to the large room, then you may only be able to play at normal listening levels, not ear-splitting party levels. And that's 7.2 watts. And I'm not shitting you. 7.2 watts can do that with these speakers, which is common spec. Now, if you define driving like Tujin does, my friend who likes a lot of bass, by the way, if you ever get inside his car, ready to vomit, because the amount of bass in his car is just insane. But if you're like him and you like to play test tracks that rumbles your house, rumbles your soul, rumbles your foot fungus, then this will not do that. Once you play, really bass heavy music like EDM or movie tracks and stuff like that, supposedly supposed to rumble the house, the only thing that's gonna be rumbling is the amplifier. It's gonna be like... Now it's not broken, it's just gonna be distorting like heavily so that your ears will be destroyed. So you probably don't wanna do that. So if you define driving to be that, then obviously it's not going to. Now if you don't play bass heavy music, if you're not a bass head, then this is not a problem. But that's not why you get a 300B to begin with. If you want bass heavy music, if you like EDM, if you like punch and rumble, hurricanes and thunder, then that's probably not what 300B is about. Now I'll give you an example, a story time. When I first got into the hobby, I was all about solid state amplifiers, 200 watts, 300 watts, more power, let's go. The more power, the better, more headroom. And then someone introduced me to a 300B. And look, she told me it's 8 watts. So I tried to lift it, and then my back almost broke. Very heavy. I'll link to the model in the description below. It was like Golden Audio or something like that. My first 300B tube amplifier. And when I first heard that integrated amplifier, my mind was blown. My world of hi-fi changed. For the better, but changed. Because it had a holographic sound, but most importantly, first time I understood what audiophiles meant when they said sweet sounding highs. I always thought that to be a weird term, like sweet sounding, like yeah, that tastes sweet, like. But I finally understood. It's actually sounded sweet sounding. It certainly did. It wasn't a sweet taste in my mouth, but my ears felt sweet. It was tingling, but in a pleasant way, like if someone was whispering into your ears, you know, that kind of feeling. The sweetness, this crisp. And I'm not a person who likes bright sounding. The brightness and sweetness is often, you know, mistaken. Isn't people think bright is sweet and sweet is bright? No. Bright people like bright. They don't like sweet. You can like both, but that's usually, you know, two different defining terms. So don't mistake that. But it's really hard to explain the phenomenon of the sweet sound on the top frequency. It really is. You know, it's like trying to explain to a baby. I'm not calling you guys a baby, but it's like almost trying to explain to a baby, a newborn, what sushi tastes like. It's impossible. What the sushi tastes like? Fish. Tastes like raw fish on rice. Obvious to the person who tasted it, but for the first timer, they just can't wrap their head around it. But once they do taste that sushi, it's like, just, I can eat it every day. I order sushi just right now. I'm waiting for it. But yes, that's what sweet sounding sounds like. A first time sushi, like whisper into the ears of sweet voices. And so if you like that, usually people like voices, right? People that like sweet sounding, they like chimes and voices and instruments, guitars, you know, harmonic. That's what the 300B is about, the mid-range and the high frequency. So usually when you hear a 300B tube amplifier or integrated amplifier in this case, you don't get a lot of bass. But the BoyuuRange has, in my opinion, enough bass to satisfy most people that are getting into it, that likes bass. You know, like me, I like bass, but I don't necessarily want to play heavy bass music that rumbles the foundation of my place. Then if that's you, then this has bass. It's not totally without bass. It even has sub bass extension. It's not the tightest, again. It's not the punchiest that you will ever get. It's just not. But it's just enough. It's there. It's pleasant. And while you enjoy the mid-range and the high-frequency sweetness that this beautiful integrated amplifier gives out, you still enjoy the bass. It's a very well-rounded integrated amplifier, and for about $1,000, I think that's the price after shipping and stuff. What a bargain. It's a bargain. Now, I know some people will ask me, hey, how are you going to compare this to the Wilsonton R8 that you loved so much? R8 is for the majority of people that is getting into the tube, hobby or tube fetish. I call it tube fetish. This is a better option. The R8 is a better option because the R8 is more powerful. It can drive more things. It has triode and ultra linears. You can switch back and forth and see what you like. You can change from KT88 to EL34 tubes. Flexibility. But the sound is not as sweet as the 300B. If you listen to the R8 and you already have a very sensitive speakers and you're listening to it and you're like, I understand what Jay means by the sweetness, but I want more of that sweetness. I understand what Jay means by the mid-range richness, but I want more of that tube holographic richness in the mid-range. Then this makes sense. This gives you more sweetness, more mid-range richness, more holographic soundstage. But the bass is a trade-off. There's always a trade-off. The bass on the R8 is more punchy, dynamic, clear sounding, extends lower, rumbles harder than the BoyuuRange. It's a trade-off. Now, how about the line magnetic? Same thing. The line magnetic is closer to this. The line magnetic and the Wilsonton R800i is closer to this. But it's like this one on steroids with more bass and more smoothness and richness. And it costs more. So it makes sense. This gives you a very good entry into what 300B sounds like. If you're someone that never heard a 300B integrated amplifier or tube amplifier, this could change your life. Could change how you listen to music. What people talk about, you'll finally understand. That sweetness, you can taste it in the air. That's what this is about. Now, I've seen other people talk about this being a bright sounding integrated amplifier. And I cannot disagree enough because I never got that. Now, I see why they may say that, because the high frequency, while being sweet, right, can be a little bit shouty depending on the pairing. Now, this is why, again, the hi-fi is so confusing, because you have to meet all these parameters. Everything has to just line up. You can't just get it. You gotta line it up. One single file. So, this paired up with a normal speaker, like a dome design, like the Electamotor or the Tectons, sounds great. No shoutiness, no glassiness, none whatsoever. Smooth as a butter. Smooth as a baby's butt. But when you pair it up with something like Klipsch RP600M, especially if you have them positioned wrong. I see so many people position that speaker wrong. Oh my goodness, don't tilt them towards you. Just have them face the wall. Just don't do it. Don't face them towards you. That's all I ask. Yes, it will be shouty. Not this. It's your speakers. Same thing with other speakers. If you have it paired up with this and you have it positioned wrong, then you will get that shoutiness to some degree. That sweetness only comes into play when you have your speakers positioned right. In fact, any integrated amplifier will sound wrong when you pair it up with a speaker that's positioned wrong. But again, like I said, the rule of thumb with this that I've tested, it's been proven by science, proven by J-Science, proven from my experience. What you want to do is pair it up with a speaker like the Electamotor, not a $10,000 speaker. That's not what I'm suggesting. Hold your guns, just pull them back. Pair it up with speakers that have dome designs that's around 88 dB to higher sensitivity, like Tectons, for example, or triangle Bro 3s. But anything with the horn design, if you have them positioned wrong, then it will be shouty. Pair it up with this, and that sweetness can become something of an aggressive monster. It's like that really nice looking lady, just sweet lady. But then when you tickle her the wrong way, she will slap you and she will call you mean names. It's very similar. It's the best analogy I've ever come up with on this channel. So be careful. You don't want that lady to get angry. So make sure to tickle in the right way. The speakers, place them correctly. Place and then match the BoyuuRange with the correct speakers. Usually dome designs work best, not horn designs with this one. So yes, my opinion is that this is one of the greatest tube integrated amplifiers you can buy. That's a 300B design and sounds like a 300B design, and it sounds good. It sounds harmonic, rich sounding, you know, and if you have it with the right pairing, it's buttery smooth on the top end, has sweetness, has all the right recipes of success for a 300B design. So yes, I approve. It is very affordable and very good for the money you pay. In fact, to get a sound like this, I have a Fez Audio Mira Seti here, Italian tube integrated amplifier. That costs like $5,000, I believe. The Italian one sounds more clear sounding, but it's not as rich, it's not as musical. If I picked one right now to listen to music after this video ended, it would be the BoyuuRange, because the BoyuuRange sounds more rich, harmonic, and emotionally captures me. Nothing else, just me and the music. But obviously it's under $1,000, so there's some stuff that I don't like about it, and that's that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I may have lost the remote, or it doesn't come with a remote. I don't think I saw it in the box. People that have BoyuuRange, comment down below. Does it come with a remote? Because for me, I want a remote. I need to control it with my fingers. It is vital. I don't want to get up. I'm a lazy ass. And the other thing is that it doesn't have a pre-out. Only has inputs. So if you want more bass, if it has a pre-out or a sub-out, all you would have to do is add a subwoofer. Just put it in there, and now you have sweet highs and more bass. Perfect. And it will make your system sound like it has more power, so you can crank up the volume higher if you add a subwoofer. But you can't do that because it doesn't have a pre-out. So that's a downside. It only has inputs. I think it has like 3 inputs. That's it. So that's the downside. But other than that, I highly recommend it. It sounds great. Subscribe.